The Michael Carrick era opens with a flyer as United dominate local rivals Man City 2-0 at Old Trafford. And honestly, there could have been even more goals. Let's break it down, sir. How we feeling? How we doing?
Feeling mint. What a win. Derby, baby. Come on. Licking up those tears. Could be his last trip to Old Trafford. We stomped them. We need this. These players got to remember they play for the greatest football club in the entire world that is Manchester United. They fed the energy of the Stretford and fed the lads. Full 90-minute performance, clean sheet. Dogu's a beast and Mbeumo's a beast. The XG was insane. We dominated City. Caveat, they had some injuries, but whatever. We couldn't even beat Wolves or West Ham. So what a performance. Probably one of the better games of the season. It's right up there. And Carrick has his momentum to go on a serious run and challenge for Europe. We're already in fifth place. Liverpool drawing Burnley. We're in the mix now, and Carrick's cleared the air. Fletch was not that great. And let's hope Carrick can find some momentum with these lads again to believe we can play Champions League football next season.
Hey, we were waiting for our new manager bounce. We got an interim manager bounce with Michael Carrick at the wheel. Unbelievable today. I can't even believe. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Watching the game 2-0, like you said, clean sheet, rarity for Manchester United these days, and it could have been much more. You know, we had 3 goals overturned from offsides. At least one of those was definitely onside. We hit the post twice, and I think they might have had one shot on target. Complete performance, like you said, standouts all around. One of those games where it's hard to pick a man of the match because so many people played well. Obviously, Mbeumo and Ahmad, how good they looked coming back from AFCON, but also Bruno Fernandes showing his class, Casemiro, Patrick Dogu, like you said, and Magoo. He came back and had a big impact. And like you said, Pep just like, oh, injuries, bro. They're spending money hand over foot. They're throwing $300,000 contracts at backup players. And nothing makes me happier than seeing him miserable, bringing on an academy as striker in place of Holland because they need more ammunition for that City side. But either way, it's a great start for Michael Carrick. Can we grab the mantle? Can we grab top 4 race by the scruff of the neck? It's there for the taking. We have the squad to do it. We have the lack of games. Come on, sir. Can we finish in top 4?
I believe, sir. I believe, and I'll tell you what, it's been a while since we've had a Muppet victory like this where Alex makes up another great phrase, hand over foot, sir. I believe it's hand over fist. It's been a while since you've been making up your catchphrases like clinicality, hand over foot. We're going for Europe. It's going to be unbelievable. Here's the thing: it's the intangibles, it's the intensity right off the jump. They knew this was a derby. They played like it was a derby. I haven't seen United play a rivalry game with this intensity for some time. I thought the challenges were there. They were in. They were hard. We left the mark to low, maybe a little too close there. But the critical thing was you're organized. Out of possession was the 4-4-2. We were comfortable in it. I felt like we were getting at City. We were all over them. We knew when to strike. It was very balanced from Carrick, and the fact he was able to do anything in 3 days is a miracle. I'm very excited to finish out the season. We got to temper our expectation. We're going to the Emirates, sir. We're going to the Emirates. We got to kind of be a little calma, but I feel like with some key wins, and if we can build on this momentum, we could seriously consider ourselves in Champions League football. And that is insane to say. It's a crazy year. It's a crazy league. But, sir, well, I'm all in, baby. Let's go. Carrick's at the wheel.
Carrick's at the wheel. Let's break down Michael Carrick's first 11, sir, in this win, this 2-0 thumping. It was a thumping, sir. They've done it to us before, and today we got the last lap. But let's get to that 11. Lamens was a net. It was a 4-2-3-1 in possession. And like you mentioned, it was 4-4-2 out of possession oftentimes. But Lamens was a net. We had Delo it right back. Magoo made it back with Martinez, our preferred center back pairing right there. And Luke Shaw playing left back like he's meant to. Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo, remember the name, playing in central mid. Ahmad Diallo on the right. Bruno Fernandes in the hole, Patrick Dogu on the left, and Brian Mbeumo up front. Sir, what were your thoughts when you saw this 11? It was, I almost brought tears to my eyes, sir. I could barely believe it. It was like, this is what I'm talking about, baby.
No, masterclass from Michael Carrick. Really, Fletch dropped Dogu. I thought that was the wrong call. What he brought in Cunha, too many cooks in the kitchen. I felt like Cunha off the bench was, lethal. Arguably, should have been involved in that goal that was overturned. Another one, but I just felt like putting Dogu on the left is exactly where he should be. You saw the work rate he has. You saw the problems he brought. Also defensively, he's sound. And then it was like, hey, we got Mbeumo Ahmad back. They got to slot in. The impetus of pushing Bruno Fernandes up the pitch was huge here. And I felt like that's why we were trying to get him behind. So we're taking our best player. We're putting him where he does best, up the pitch, scoring goals, assists, the nines. Carrick got it right, and the Casemiro midfield actually performed very well. You got to give Manu some minutes, and he looked to shine in this derby.
It's amazing when you play players in the preferred position, especially Bruno Fernandes, one of the best 10s in the world. He could do a lot of damage. Let's get into that match, sir. United came out of the gates hot, playing with conviction and higher energy, like you said. They were running like dogs, and that's what you want to see from United side, especially playing at home against a bitter rival. In the third minute, Maguire had a free header at the back post from a corner. He slammed it off the bar, should have scored. 11th minute, like you said, there was a little bit of controversy. High foot from Delo. He nicked Doku. Twitter was moaning. All the pundits were moaning, but I thought it was not much. If you
got away
down,
with it, in the VAR.
You've seen them.
I'm not saying it's a red. I'm saying in the VAR era, I'm very in the VAR era, this was got away with one, sir. Flip a coin, whoever the official is. It should not be that way, but it was a great non-call here that would lead to a great game.
You need luck against any great opponent. They are top side. This was our luck of the day. It wasn't on the pitch. It was just this one call, but it could have gone elsewhere. Let's get into that game. City had a couple half chances, but not much doing. It was mainly United's show in that first half. 33rd minute, Ahmad scores, but he was offsides. It was close, but ultimately the correct call. And then the 41st minute, this is the much closer one. Bruno's scored. Overturned for offsides once again. I think this one was much closer. I've seen teams get this, but United were showing this dangerousness on the counter, getting in behind, looking very lethal, especially as it involved Bruno Fernandes. Second half, this is I love saying this. This is not going to get old to say. All United in the second half. I mean, honestly, pure domination in a way we haven't seen in years. They didn't even have a shot on target in that second half. 57th minute, huge save from Donnarumma to deny Casemiro 5 yards out. And then, in the 65th minute, Bryan Mbeumo signing into the season. He's back from AFCON, and he looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Shaky. Maguire. Mbeumo's touch releases Bruno Fernandes. 3-on-2 in United's favour. It's Bryan Mbeumo. It's 1-0 United. New manager, new feeling.
So we talk about playing the United way. That is a United counterattack goal through and through. Something to be proud of. Unbelievable. Just turn it up the pitch, 10 seconds, no hesitation. Great ball from Bruno Fernandes, but Bryan Mbeumo still has a lot to do in this moment. Finishes it coolly. Unbelievable. Love to see it. 1-0 Manchester United.
What a finish. What a finish by Mbeumo. That is not easy to do, and put him up at 9. We need a goal scorer. He's the goal scorer.
He is a goal scorer indeed. He was pulled right after this in the 71st minute. Cunha came on for an Mbeumo. He looked very good as a sub, showing his danger. And then the 76th minute, Patrick Dogu has his moment. He shined throughout the game, and he gets his goal from the Matheus Cunha assist.
Again, Matheus Cunha. Did well to deliver a cross, and Dorgu snaffles a second for Manchester United and runs immediately to Cunha, who is getting the bulk of the acclaim from the Stretford end.
Cunha puts in a really dangerous ball, but still, Patrick Dogu has a lot to do at that near post. And he has, I've seen some strikers on this United side not move so well off the ball. Great finish, does everything he needs to do. 2-0 United. What a goal. Can't even believe it. 81st minute subs. They started to, making good tactical subs. Ugarte came on for Casemiro, who had a terrific game, must be said about Casemiro once again, showing his class even as he ages. And then the 90th minute, Mount and Heaven came on for Bruno and Shaw. In the 90th minute, Ahmad hit the post with a great take. He was unlucky. He's going to not look quite as lethal as Mbeumo, but he has some dangerous moments. And then the 92nd minute, Mount scores, but this was overturned by VAR as well. I think this was no chance. I think this is on all day. But I guess beggars can't be choosers, because Manchester United got a clean sheet against their rivals. And honestly, when we got that goal, that second goal, they looked shell-shocked. City looked shook. Like United back in the day have been so many times. But that was all she wrote, sir. 2-0. Getting into the stats, 10 shots for Manchester United to 7 for Man City, 7 on target for Manchester United. We talk about clinicality, made upwards. courtesy of American Red Devils. They had, according to Google, 0 shots on target. I think it was 1 technically, but even then, not much from that City side, who are still spending money hand over fist. Let's get into the XG. People charted
Dominated them,
slightly different. 2.65 to Manchester United, 0.49 to Manchester City. Like you said, complete
It could have been
domination.
6. We could, obviously VAR calls don't. If you pull it back, you don't get credit for it. But this could have been a 5-0 performance. The thing about this game that is different to all games that we've played is we didn't give them anything. We were able to generate the attack. Maybe the Arsenal game to start the season, I felt like we really stifled them with our possession and we didn't give a lot, but we didn't give City anything and we were all over them. And that's the balance that United needs. Also, full 90, perfect performance from everybody. The subs improved the team. Another key, another feather in Carrick's cap. And if you're doing that at home, you're keeping it simple. Look at the bench. Cunha, Mount. These are players that are going to help us. Obviously, Ugarte, we want to upgrade that in January. We'll get to that in the transfer news in a minute. But a 90 minutes, we haven't seen dominant performance at home. It's something to build on, something the players can believe in. And I can't stress this enough. Carrick pushed Bruno up the pitch so high, he was almost a false 9. How many goals? Bruno was the one who's offsides. He wasn't passing it to somebody who was offsides. Bruno was involved in every bit of the attack, but he wasn't playing really the 10. He was almost a false 9. He was so high up the pitch. He was given so much freedom to attack. I feel like the shackles are off. Bruno Fernandes. Rest of the season, this team is going to look much different.
No, it looked like, the cloud's been lifted. It was not dissimilar to the effect that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had coming in after Jose got hooked. United just feel like the weight had been lifted. And like you said, Bruno Fernandes, arguably one of his best performances in a United pitch, in a United kit. He was all over the place. He was involved in everything. He could have had more. He almost should have had more, and it was just a terrific performance through and through. And like
that's
you said,
where you should play him.
No, yeah, look, he's elite. He's an elite number 10. Yeah, let's play him in a holding position, and let's not play Kobe Mainoo, so we can play an extra defender. How dare you, Ruben Amram? No one misses him. And also, like you said, another good point I think you have to emphasize is a complete 90 minutes, end to end. Minimal mistakes. Everybody was fighting for each other. They were big blocks, actually, from Martinez on Haaland in the second half to basically not even get him a shot on target. Let's hear from the caretaker manager, sir. He's growing on me. He's looking pretty sharp in the press box. Let's hear what Carrick has to say about today's performance.
Is that fair to say that was a dream start, better than even you could have hoped for?
Yeah, it's a great start. There's no getting away from that. I think, to be honest, before the game, with coaches were spoken, and we said that the boys were in a good place. We were quite happy with the days, how we prepared for it emotionally, where the boys were, the state they were at, leaving the changing room. So I was quite happy with that leading into the game. But then, listen, City are an unbelievable team with talent, and they can rotate and change things. So there's a plan, and then you've got to go plan B and C and work around it. So you never really know how the game is going to go. But for it to pan out like that, the boys were fantastic today, I have to say, in so many ways. And to manage it emotionally with the information we've given them and pulling it together, it was pretty good.
Damn. Michael, I just wonder, especially with Bruno Fernandes, another assist win of the season. I just wonder this week what conversations you had with him as captain, and also do you think he's enjoying playing as a centre playing in the deepest?
Yeah, I mean, I've spoke to Bruno. I've known him a long time now, and I thought he was fantastic today. The way he played the position, he's so clever and he takes up spaces, and he had a big discipline role, him and Brian, to defend.
Talking about Bruno Fernandes, Michael Carrick looking good in the role. There will be rough patches along the way. We're not going to blow out every team, but the amount of confidence that this will instill in the lads and making them think like they have a real chance to grab top 4 by the scruff of the neck, thinking we can beat anybody, we can take it to the best team in the league right now in Arsenal. He looks comfortable, he looks comfortable, more comfortable than Darren Fletcher looked. We're all behind you, Michael Carrick. We're all behind you.
I think that's the whole MO is can you get these players to believe? Can you get them to believe in this interim project with Michael Carrick? And he can with a win against Man City like that. Look, they had some injuries, but we couldn't beat bad teams, and we showed up big at home. Usually the Derby victories have been at the Etihad, but today it was dominant, and he's confident. You can tell he gets it. Even the experience he had, as when Ole was sacked and he had 3 games, it's experience. Fletcher looked like so jumpy, deer in the headlights. I felt like he messed with the 11 too much in between the games, and I feel like Carrick is a proper manager, and we have a proper shot now. Can't hire him full time, but I'm all in the rest of the season. Manchester United sitting in 5th place. Liverpool drew Burnley. We have 35 points to the Scouse Bastards, 36. That's the 4th spot. That is what it's all about right now for Manchester United. And I feel like we got to go in the Emirates and we got to try to get a point.
Got to get a point, sir. They had injuries. They had Erling Haaland on the pitch, the best number 9 in the world. They had Rodri on the pitch, number 6.
Their whole defense,
Semenyo, they had Donnarumma. Even still, sir, they spend money like it's going out of style. Don't discount this victory.
They have a ton of defensive injuries. There was an 18-year-old who never got a start who was out for City, and he got subbed at halftime. And you're going to say that didn't impact the game? It's like it did. Ultimately, he got subbed at halftime.
United deserved the result. They earned the result full on, and it's on to the next one, like you said. Before we get into the Arsenal preview, let's talk about a great way to support the pod, which is check out our newsletter. Don't forget to like and subscribe, like I said, on our YouTube, but also check out the American Red Devils newsletter every week. It comes out into your inbox. Goes a long way to figuring out what's going on this week.
Sir, how can they sign up for the newsletter? Where do they got to go?
Tell us, sir. Tell us.
AmericanRedDevils.com/newsletter. Click sign up, put in your email, and it comes free to your inbox, all the top stories every single week. Let's get into the Arsenal preview. We got 2 Muppets that are actually going to be going to the Emirates in the away section, sir. Our season ticket. These season ticket holders for 7 years in the Stretford end, and one of the benefits is you can apply for away allocation. The odds are low. We applied, living on a prayer, and we got our seats. We're going to be in the 9th row, so if United score, you're going to see these 2 Muppets going crazy. Let's hope we can smash and grab. It's going to be the same plan against City. Going to redo it. You're going to sit and try to bang them on the counter. Bang, bang, and let's go, Manchester United. Come on, lads. If you can do it against City. Arsenal drew as well to Nottingham Forest, so they're bleeding. I feel like everybody's bleeding, and if we can get a big result against Arsenal, who knows where we're going to go.
Absolutely, sir. And they have Champions League to worry about, something that we have no concerns about. Let's talk about this game Sunday, January 25th, Arsenal versus Manchester United, EPL Game Week 23 at the Emirates Stadium. Like you said, we will be there on the 25th of January. This next Sunday, it's 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. You can watch the match on Peacock. How's the weather looking, sir? Is it shorts and t-shirts? Should I get my fishing shirts out? Not gonna happen.
Freezing.
6 degrees Celsius, for all the Europhiles. That's just around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. High likelihood of rain. Perfect English weather, sir. You know what? We got the lottery. We're not going to get the weather lottery as well. There's no way you're going to get the luck and strike twice in a row. So who are we playing? We're playing the Gunners, Arsenal FC, first club from Southern England to join the Football League in 1893, officially joining the First Division in 1904. Know the history. In 1886, munitions workers at the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich founded the club as Dial Square. And then in 1913, the club crossed the city to Arsenal Stadium in Highbury, becoming close neighbors to Tottenham Hotspur, creating the North London Derby. Club is majority owned by American tycoon Stan Kroenke, sir. He's got his hands in a lot of different pots. You know what? And they've turned, to be fair, he hired some real footballing people around 7-8 years ago, and they've done.
Haven't won the title, though.
Haven't won the title. He's won about as much.
No Champions
as Eric Ten Hag has won at United, which is not much. Let's talk about their manager. Basically, a less accomplished, more arrogant version of Pep Guardiola. Mikel Arteta. He's, like I said, he's less accomplished. He's somehow more arrogant than Pep, and he's like, you've done nothing. He's won.
By the way, they can bottle this league. By the way, the league is theirs, and they can literally just.
Who's the worthy number 2 though? If we just wipe the claw across
Villa and City, City are in it. They're 7 points off, and the thing is, even with 17 to play, like Arsenal can bottle this league. And by the way, if you don't think that they're going to be shaking in their boots when we come to the Emirates, they're going to be shaking in their boots. They're going to be shaking because they're just going to be like, if we get them, it's on. And this league is great. I'm glad that it's wide open. I'm glad that Villa's in it. This is great as a fan and a neutral and United to go there and try to get blood. It just adds to the stakes. I love it.
No, it's absolutely right. They will be thinking about United, the threat they offer. This is a free kick FC, corner FC. That's what they score a lot of their goals. Tactics wise, out of possession from Michael Arteta's side, looks like a 4-4-2 press shape. Wingers tucked in, lanes blocked, trap set. They try to steer you into a safe pass, and they trying to jump the next one. And then possession, it's about occupation and overloads. Like I said, it's a City formula. I think you run back what you did today. You pin you wide with threats, then they slice you with overlaps and third man runs, back posts. But honestly, a lot of their goals and a lot of their danger this season has been from corners with some sketchiness involved. For United, it's about not playing the game they want. We have to bait the press, then go early and vertical, first ball forward, second ball to the channel, make their center backs turn, and then make their fullbacks defend toward their own goal. We saw that today. We saw that today against City. You do the same thing against Arsenal. You can really cause them some trouble at the Emirates. Let's talk about recent records, sir. All time, we've won 102, drawn 51, lost 91. But recently, they have had a bit of fortune against the greatest club in English football. We have, give me a second, we have lost 3, won 1, and drawn 1. And we haven't beat them in the league since Eric Ten Hag's first season in 2022. And we haven't beat them in the league at the Emirates for almost 10 years since 2017. But you know what?
We did win in the FA Cup last year with
in the league.
Bayern Deer. Yeah. No, I'm just saying FA Cup.
No,
But that,
good point.
in recent memory, I'm gonna take it. These players did it, and Carrick's gonna get them to believe because Carrick's a boss and he's done it before too.
Absolutely. And like you said, we just broke a different record early in the season with a bluffer manager. That Anfield record, that's stood for 10 years just about. So why not? Let's break another record around leagues and the Emirates. Player to watch is Declan Rice, 27-year-old English midfielder who would have been a great United signing if we had a recruitment together back then. 4 goals and 3 assists this season. And he really feels like he's involved in everything. Recent form, like you said, they drew Forest today 0-0. They edged Chelsea in the EFL Cup in the first leg of the semifinal, but it was a close one. They blew out Portsmouth. Nice draw for them. They drew Liverpool 0-0. They slightly edged Bournemouth, and then they did beat up Villa at home. So, they're top of the league, but they've shown a little bit of cracks recently. I was talking about their formation. They like to play a 4-3-3. At least they did against Forest. We know the players. Gabriel and Saliba, a hell of a center back pairing, but a dirty center back pairing nonetheless. Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard in midfield. Gyökeres, Swede, and Jeans. I'm so glad we didn't sign him. And Martinelli and Madueke, playing on the wing. So team to watch. No real notable injuries heading into this game. Talk about United's 11. This was the 11 once again from today's victory against the City Empty-Ad Blues. Lemens, Delo, Maguire, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro, and Kobe in holding 2, and Diallo, Bruno, and Dorgu, and Mbeumo up front, sir. What are your thoughts? I think you stick with it. You run it back. Any changes for you headed into this big game at the Emirates?
Nope. You got to run it back. The exact same thing. You're going to sit off. You're going to counter them. United's strength is our attack, and it's going to cause Arsenal problems. Their weakness is their attack. Like you said, they signed Gyökeres. That is the bullet that we dodged with Amram. That's the biggest bullet that we got because you notice that Šeško's on the bench. Carrick knows he needs more time. He's not going to just put too much pressure on him. I actually like that. He's going to get his moment. But ultimately, Mbeumo's the man who's going to just destroy defenses. Like, he has to be the focal point of the attack. That's why with Cunha on the left, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. You need Dorgu to provide the width. He's also going to give him service. He's not selfish. Like, that's the profile that we need at the moment, and we're going to see it. I want a mod out there cooking too. He needs some time, but same exact team. Run it back. Same game plan. You got to keep it simple. Carrick just came in. I feel like you do this well against City, you just go back for seconds.
It should give them a certain boost as well because it worked so well today against the top City side. Obviously, Arsenal are ahead of them a little bit this year, but that should give you some conviction that this can work once again away against the top side in the Gunners. Talking about odds, sir. You and me, bro, we're going to Ladbrokes, but what do the American bookies have it? Big favorites for Arsenal, minus 175 at home, plus 290 for the draw, plus 460 for United.
It's
moved a bit. I'm touching that. Oh yeah, it was. When I did the agenda a couple hours ago, it was plus 500. It's already started to move a little bit for good reason. What do the United fans think? They think it's going to be a loss. 70% just about of United fans think Arsenal are going to come away with one. 13% think a draw, and 19% think United will get the victory. Sir, you are up. What is your prediction for the game we will be attending? Arsenal versus Manchester United, January 25th.
We're going, so there's only one way this Muppet's going. 2-1 victory to Manchester United. The away end is going to be crazy. Cannot wait for it. I feel like Arsenal, they're bleeding a little bit, and United's got the jump, new manager bounce. Let's go. Let's go all over them. Old school United victory.
When you're Muppet, you got a Muppet. This Muppet is double downing. I'm going with you. I have to agree. 1-0 Manchester United. Clean sheet on the road. Scrappy. We score a goal from a corner. You know, we play their playbook against them. That's what I've got. I hope so, sir. Shall we? Let's get into some news, sir. United in news, there's a lot going on, even though the transfer market for us is not super active. But the first big story is talk of an investor meeting. Let's get into the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and INEOS heads met with investors the other day at Carrington regarding the potential new stadium. Manchester United looking for commercial partnerships and private investment partners. This is something that you and I talked about a couple of months ago. We were hearing whispers out of the Middle East that United was looking to bring in another minority investor to help augment our cash because we got no cash and there's no other way to pay for a $2 billion stadium because not a lot of people are throwing debt at us. What do you make of this rumor, sir? I think it's gaining speed. I think the fact that the Glazers even flew across the pond gives some validation that there might be some legs in it. They might be going to Davos as well, which is around the corner. They love to show up to that. But there's something here. It feels like this isn't getting more concrete, even though it's still smoky.
It's funny, when this first broke, the Glazers coming across the pond, everyone was like, they're coming to like talk about Ruben Amorim. Like, no, they're not. Like, they're not.
They don't give a crap.
No, they're talking like cash money. And so I kind of remember the rumors we covered out of the UAE where there was apparently interest in a takeover or some sort of strategic cash. I think it'd be more strategic cash infusion. It'd be pretty Jersey to go out and do the Ratcliffe deal and 2 years later sell it again. Also, no one's going to really want to give you a premium value to do that deal. So most likely what they're going to do is trying to get some stadium deal done, build a new stadium, and then sell it for like $10 billion. So how can you justify the six to $7 billion and then kind of get that big jump? And you're probably going to have to raise at least £1 billion to start construction on the stadium. Again, I hate all of this. I'm hoping that this was just smoke for an actual takeover. That's what fans want. The protest before the Fulham game with the 1958, we stand in solidarity, sir. The 1958, let's go. ARD fam, we're protesting these owners. We want them out now. Like Sir Jim, INEOS, he's Glazers 2.0, Glinios out. That's what it's all about. The fact that they're talking to investment partners, I'm hoping that somebody wants to buy the whole thing from them. If this goes into the stadium financing, the club has so much debt. I honestly don't like, they're maxed out from a financial perspective if you break it down. So people in the open market will only loan you so much money versus your free cash flow or your EBITDA, and our EBITDA covenants are like maxed to the gills. So if you look at it, the credit cards are maxed. Who's going to come in and give us another $2 billion of leverage? Well, you're going to build a new stadium. That's going to provide you something to loan against. But I feel like any deal we do when we have so much debt is so bad for United. The best move is for the club to be sold. And ultimately, we won't hear about that. They're a public company. But I'm hoping that the Glazers being present, it makes me think about that UAE money, not the stadium money, because I don't think they'd come out here for that. No, I think there might be something more in this that's not being talked about.
Yeah, my hope is that this is a real takeover, like a full buyout. They're all out, clear the debt, like you said, and we can actually start over and try and do a rebuild. INEOS were doomed from the beginning. They never got rid of the debt in the first place. They kept the Glazers around, and they never really injected the sufficient cash to make a difference on the pitch or from an infrastructure standpoint. So I'm hoping that there's real legs in it. Like you said, I don't think they're going to just do another Ratcliffe with a UAE investor who's going to value it at $6 billion.
Well, there's no public money. We haven't heard any update on the public money. The only way the stadium was going to get built is if the public funded it. That's not how they do it in the UK, which ultimately is pretty smart because we do it. For some reason in the United States, it's how we tax people. I don't know. Stadiums are pretty sweet. Like at the end of the day, like you hate to see your team. If your team's going to leave, they hold you hostage kind of thing. Manchester United is never going to leave, but this is one of those things where the Glazers are going to Glazer and Sir Jim is going to Sir Jim. And I hope that, like, if you're broke and your house is run down, no one's going to lend you money to build a new house. And that's where we are. So who's going to do that? What does that deal look like? And how much money do you need? 2 billion? It's not happening. It's not happening in the way the club is run. Unless somebody's a chump, and usually people with $2 billion aren't chumps.
No, they're not going to give you money to refinance your house to try and rebuild it. They're going to buy your land. Buy the land that is Manchester United, that is the brand, that is everything that goes around with it, the team, of course. I hope that's what this is. That's the only thing that's going to take United back to the top. As much as how fun today was, we're not going to be able to compete with our rivals until we can clear out the debt and start.
Or it's a bad deal where we're like someone builds the stadium and we lease it from them for 100 years, which like puts us under worse financial. The only way that you could get possible. But any deal they make is going to be so bad for the future of United. Because we're already broke. We already have $1 billion that we have to pay back in the transfer with transfer payable. So I just think Glazers in person is either a courtesy Davos step over, or we're talking full takeover. Let's hope the club is being sold.
Let's hope, sir. We can certainly hope. One to keep an eye on. One the American Red Devils will be keen to follow. We'll keep you all informed.
And nobody knows. No, if it's takeovers, no one's going to know. So this is all speculation. There's no actual leaks here.
Yeah, but smoke nonetheless. The fact that they made it to the stadium, they don't give a shit about seeing the new Carrington. They want to come for cash, money, or for their own ego. Hopefully it is a sale, but one to keep an eye on. Let's talk about January, sir. There was talk that there'd be nothing doing in January. Gallagher went to Spurs. There was a bid from Villa, but Spurs ultimately won it with them just flailing. But now we have heard in the last 24 hours, or the last 36 hours now with this, that United have held secret talks with a midfielder. It would be a loan until the end of the season. He apparently has Premier League experience, and he's currently playing outside of England, according to Ben Jacobs. And the rumor that we're hearing after digging a layer deeper, I thought it could have been Weston McKennie. Apparently, Juventus want to get rid of him for not a lot of money. We'd like that from an American angle, even though some of our English-based fans might shit on that, is that it is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, the former Chelsea midfielder, 29 years old. He's been offered to a slew of clubs. He's playing at AC Milan. He's fair. I mean, this is like, the good and cheap category. He's probably better than Ugarte because he's playing in the EPL, but there's a reason he's playing in Milan and not elsewhere. His F brief has not actually been bad, as you can see. Non-penalty XG is 90 percentile, total shots 96 percentile, progressive carries 96 percentile, touches 99th, clearances 72, aerial ones 97th. But this is very much a good and cheap. What is your thoughts, sir, about A, the mystery midfielder loan, and B, that it could be Ruben, another Ruben? We trade one Ruben for another.
Anytime they're not leaking the name, it's not a good sign. And this one would be like, we got rid of Scott McTominay and you're going to sign Loftus-Cheek on loan. Could you get cheaper? Could you, like Conor Gallagher, 35 million, went to Tottenham. He's young, promising. He's better than Loftus-Cheek. But you know what? We just want to go, Sir Jim's paying all these guys so much money to fire him that we're just going to loan Loftus-Cheek. Like, give me a break. This is embarrassing. Tackles, you want to talk about a defensive mid? Tackles, 5 percentile. Interceptions, 1 percentile. Blocks, 3 percentile. Like, he literally carries the ball up the field. Progressive passes, 31st percentile. Passes attempted, 19th percentile. Look, I don't know where he fits in. He has good take-ons, progressive carries. It's not the midfielder profile we're looking for the record. Much more attack-minded, not very defensive-focused. You need some balance there. Conor Gallagher would give you that. We put our thumb to our nose at that deal. Don't know why. I felt like there's some value there, especially for an English player. I'm not like all over him, but I just need someone who's serviceable. Neves also coming back from Saudi. Obviously, it's a step up, but I feel like Loftus-Cheek is like, you're getting to, I don't even know if there's something cheaper than a dollar store, but this is like, throw something at him. It's like, hey, AI, give me someone.
Like, this is like Amrabat or Wout Weghorst. This is not Odin Agalo.
Amrabat's worse.
This is
the amount we paid a lot for Amrabat. what's he up to?
Hard to say. Hard to say. This is what happens. This is why it's so important that hopefully there's some legs in a real takeover, because this is the kind of deals you're going to be doing when the club is broke. We should be able to go for a Gallagher. Where is he? So you find him, you dig him up. Is he Turkey?
Stats are horrible. He is not doing well. He is doing really bad. Very bad. So yes, he is worse. Loftus-Cheek is better than Amrabat. There you go.
Worse. He's better than Woutwegors. You know, he's not Dutch, not associated with Eric Ten Hag. Hey, I agree with you. He's not better than Kobe Mainoo. Like, this feels like the profile of a Kobe Mainoo, an 8, not a 6. But we need someone to take the pressure off Casemiro. Also, with one game a week, Casemiro at 33 is better than Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the number 6 position.
How do we not have a plan? How do we not have a? By the way,
of course we don't have a plan.
Well, everybody's saying how great the front office is doing when you knew in the summer that we needed a CDM. You and me said last summer we need a right back because Delo is not the guy. He's a great squad player. You know why he's a good squad player? If someone's injured, he can play on the left and he can play on the right. But we need a new right back for the future, just like we got Dorgu. And then we need a CDM because Ugarte isn't the guy. And when he's not the guy, you go again. That the United hasn't got the you go again like we saw big clubs do when you sign. So when he's not the guy, you need to refill the hole. How do we not have a list of guys? How do we not have a guy that we want to get? Is it Baleba or bust? Is that it? Like, he hasn't played that well this season. So I kind of feel like there should be 3 guys on the list and you should be trying to get one of them, and you can. And the fact that we're not going to and going to go this route is a little laughable, but I'll take it if we can get them. So somebody's better than nobody, but we should have a better plan than this.
You should be going for Balaba. We've heard about Elliot Aronson. I know Balaba's had a fall off, but he's still young. He's still rough around the edges. They won't sell him because they want to get top dollar. If we were serious, we would put a bid in. We'd give him something to think about. We'd give him something to chew on. And instead, like you said, the plan is we got no plan. We're sitting on our back foot.
I think the plan is we're not
proactive.
Summer.
Yeah, we're waiting for the summer because we want to see if we can make Champions League football and how much money we can spend, basically.
Yes, exactly. Yes, it's completely, yeah. But you need players to make Champions League football. Regardless, it's a mess, and we need midfielders. So, Loftus-Cheek, sign him up, sir. Get this guy Loftus-Cheek kid.
There's also the other wrinkle in this is that we heard this week is that Casemiro can extend his United contract to 27 or an additional year. I can't believe it's 2026. Sometimes I even forget that. By basically starting a certain number of games. So if he starts every game for the remainder of the season, he obviously started for the City game. He has like an automatic extension trigger that he can pull at the club. Now, he's been useful. He was great today against City. He can only go like 65 to 70 minutes, but those 65 to 70 minutes, he's still an elite player. He will be remembered as one of the great CDMs of all time. We overpaid for him. We overpaid his salary. I think they'll go out of their way to make sure he does not start every game. It's also like the fact I don't think he's going to make the rest of the season without getting a red card. So I think he might miss a game on his own. But this is an interesting one. So they got thrown in the mix because if Casemiro's fit, and removed of this whole like contract extension thing, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is not starting above Casemiro.
Yeah, but the idea is like usually United have more than 40 games in a season, so that he could have easily hit the 35, but because we got eliminated from every competition, United, obviously, we do not want this contract to extend automatically. If you're a serious club, he does not play. You do not so we cannot auto extend his contract, which we will not do because he's making so much money. So we did hear rumors that we might negotiate another deal with him. United have to move off of Lindelof. Like, you got to move. Fergie moved off of players before, like, you needed to. And Casemiro, if we bring him back again, would be like, give Johnny Evans another go. Like, at a certain point, it's just like, you got to be a serious club. You need to have, the right age players in the right position.
That's a lot of wages to take up. I agree. They're not going to let this happen. We have, obviously he's going to play. He played today. He was very good. He'll play against Arsenal. I think he'll have a role to play if we do get a result there. But we also have some easy games at some point in the second half of the season. So he'll get his bench.
Maguire. It's like Maguire. It's like the real club is he's not the guy for the future. He's not the guy for the future.
He was also
but if you're certain, but that's a Muppet watching the game. A real club is looking at who we got, and you're bringing in the new guys. Like, you're looking at Casemiro,
right?
You're looking at Casemiro and be like, you were great. thanks for finishing the contract, and you get the next guy. Like, that's how it's supposed to operate it from a director of football perspective, where you're looking at age, contract length, and you're bringing in everybody instead of just being like stuck with no one when all these contracts expire, and then you like re-up them and keep re-upping. We've been doing that for a decade. Like, Delo's a great example. It's like, not the guy, re-up him. Maguire, not the guy, let's re-up him. And it's like, how do they play after you re-up him? Not well.
Not well. Not well. Okay, well, here's my counter to that is the next story, which a player that I would re-up, Bruno Fernandes. This was before the game, before some of the air was lifted with the victory against City, of course, that there is a general fear that Bruno Fernandes has had enough and will look to leave Manchester United. Now, this is not super surprising. He's seen 3 permanent managers since he's been there. He's only been here for 6 years. And honestly, you can understand him wanting to move on and go play elsewhere. I don't even think he wants to go in Saudis. He's a baller. He wants to play at the top level. I think, he can go to Spain. He can go to Bayern. There was a little bit of sniffing about them being interested there. Talking about Muppets, sir, I would give him another contract. He has dexterity. He shows that even when we play a fast-pace type of game today, that his legs still hold up, and he's got no problem with that. He created 6 big chances today against City. I just think he's an unbelievable talent. I think he only will get better. Like, if he's the kind of player, if he went to Spain, he would have another 7 years, like just pulling the strings of Real Madrid if they were the old Real Madrid, like a Modric, if you will, of like a vintage 30-year-old midfielder. So I would keep him around. I would do whatever you could to keep Bruno around because I think of his importance. You might disagree with me.
No, but he wants to leave it. And the news is that he wants to leave. It's
right.
that he
Throw
feels
money
like
at
it's
him.
time. Right? There was the big interview that came out on Canal Plus that he dropped, talking very candidly about the club, which is not, it's kind of joining the ranks of the Ronaldos. There's a lot of players who are going out and speaking publicly now. And he went that route, which is not a good look, especially for United captain. I like Bruno Fernandes. This team, where would we be without him? All those things are valid, but as a captain, dropping that interview was not wise. And that makes me think his head is elsewhere, right? If you're reading the tea leaves, I'd be like, I think Bruno Fernandes is done with Manchester United. Should he be done with Manchester United? No, because we don't have a plan. Just like I alluded, we don't have a plan for the midfield in January. We don't have a plan for midfield beyond Casemiro. We don't have a plan for who our number 10 is going to be beyond Bruno Fernandes. It could be Cunha. He might kind of grow into that role, but we haven't seen it yet. You'd like to have Bruno play with the guy and then know he's the guy, then get rid of Bruno. You like to have all these plans. You like to have it figured out. United are a mess, and I feel like our finances with the ownership, we always have half measures, and we don't have a systemic plan for the roster long term. And if we lost Bruno Fernandes this summer, I feel like we're going to be in such a hole where now you're trying to fill the attack, but we have issues at midfield and we have left and right back. Valid questions there. We signed a left back who now is playing a winger. So do we need another left back? Everything about this, like Mazraoui, De Ligt, these guys, like, what are they doing? Where are we at? Where are we going? I just feel like from a whole contract and director of football perspective, the roster is a complete mess. Amram was right about that. But, losing Bruno Fernandes would destroy this team as we know it. But we've always needed a rebuild. And the future of Manchester United is without Bruno Fernandes. But this whole, just keep playing into top 4, that's where we need Bruno Fernandes. And, if we could get 100 million for him to rebuild, we'd probably bottle that. So I'm trying to have hope, but losing him is huge. And I hope that there's a way back. And something tells me Bruno loves this club. And ultimately, if we play well and he plays well in this team, there is a vision of this team that can be sold to him for him to stay. Like, that's really where it comes down. How are we going to convince him to stay? We're going to convince him to stay by getting Champions League football. We're going to convince him to stay by then using that money to buy the players that will make him better. And that's what we need to be focused on right now, is keeping Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United. The only way to do that is to win and do it with him and keep him happy. And we got to do that because it's been a mess since he's got here. And you can't blame him if he wants to leave.
No, you can't. Everything you said is correct, sir. I fear that our next game that we go to will be the last time I get to see Bruno Fernandes, one of my favorite players, play for Manchester United, but United should go out of their way to keep him around. Like you said, if you give him players that make him better, by the way, he has 9 assists this season. Part of that's because he has players that can actually score a goal, not like Højlund and Antony. He's got Mbeumo and Šeško banging him in. That goes a long way. We're scoring from corners. That helps as well. And I think if you give him an elite number 6 playing next to Kobe Mainoo and him up at 10, all of a sudden you have a very, very dangerous midfield. You should go out of your way to do whatever it takes to keep him around, throw him money, not crazy money, but like give him a big contract. He's got the legs. He had his first real injury for Manchester United and missed like 3 games. And I just fear that, like you said, INEOS will just look at the cash, the fast cash. They want that sugar high, and they'll be like 100 million, like push him out the door, have no plan, spend it, and then all of a sudden you have a huge hole in your side. Cunha is not the guy right now. There are very few guys in this. He's an elite talent. He fills a huge hole. He's been a trooper, but I do agree. He loves the club. I think he wants the club to be successful, but we have to give him the tools to kind of like take that next step up. And I think if Carrick can go on a run, we get in the top 4, maybe we get some money in. Maybe we can, find a way to make this all work. But I do fear that this is the end for Bruno Fernandes. And his
that interview is everything.
That tells you everything.
He said the club let him down.
It's bad. It's bad look. I agree. It's
a bad. The captain of United should not be doing that stupid interview on that stupid channel, wearing a sweatsuit, just being like, "Yeah, this club sucks." Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, and so like,
blame him.
Leave and say it. Like, leave and say it. I feel like just doing when you're the captain. I feel like he shouldn't be the captain. That's what I feel. I feel like he should give up the armband. It should just be about, him and getting in a better position. And hey, by the way, next manager, whoever that is going to be that's going to be a big deal. Whoever the next manager is, if he wants to stay or not. So there's so many things to then get to whether or not he's going to stay that I'm just ignoring this until the summer. And then we're going to deal with, is the club being sold? Who's the next manager? There's so much that is going to be dealt with. One question before we get into the Muppets. With Carrick, the whole Carrick, at the wheel shouldn't be considered to be the full-time job. Obviously, people are going to look at, great result against City, give him, sign him up. What is it? Rio Ferdinand, give him the contract.
Muppets are going to Muppet,
do
bro.
In American sports, which I think is correct. Yeah, the NFL is they have the interim coach to the end of the season, and then he gets a chance to interview for the full-time job. Like, let your CV be a part of it. Like, so if Carrick should be able to be interviewed, but like with a lot of teams, it's like, yeah, this courtesy interview, but we're going with this guy. And most likely that's how they should treat it. But like, you can't think about giving him a job like now, which like I've heard being said, which is crazy.
Well, everything's overreaction. This is like an overreaction generation. I agree. I think if he finishes in the top 4, he should be in contention for the spot. He shouldn't necessarily get it like as a default, but he should definitely be on the short list.
Like if he finishes
in the top 4, if he finishes in the top 4, he's done more than De Zerbi. De Zerbi's a nobody. Like, who is De Zerbi, bro? Like,
they're not that just came from what's his name because he was involved before. Who's the
Fabrizio Romano?
Yes, came from Romano.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think if he could earn the spot to be on the short list, we'll see. We don't get ahead of ourselves.
Because the error was that Ole interim was given the full-time job. Remember,
in April,
before
right.
top 4 was earned, which was Ed Woodward made a big mistake. Obviously, many mistakes that he made, but it's end of the season. See how it goes. So don't even think about Carrick at the wheel permanently here.
I'm just happy to be here, sir. I'm just happy that today we watched that game. We're going to the Emirates. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what the Muppets have to say. What are the fans thinking? Fan questions. Are they going to be a good mood or bad mood? We're about to find out. Let's get into it. At Nathan Forster, Alicia Maguire body in Holland. Bruno dropping a masterclass performance today. The squad all pushing and fighting for the badge. Old Trafford roaring. Sir Alex smiling from ear to ear. We have thirsted for days like today. Manchester is red. Manchester is red indeed. God bless that opinion. What else we got? At SS Grok 17, that was great and exciting match to watch. It's nice when there's cohesion and desire to win. I sure do hope they keep it up for the rest of the season. You and me both. At Moneyline Mush, and Mbeumo and Ahmad were unbelievable to have back. Can't be happier with his performance and 3 points. But we know this team, and they get up for the big games. A lot of season left. Can they keep this type of play going?
That's a great point.
That is a good point.
And we get up, they do, and this team plays well on the counter, sends it away, get up for the big games, right? And they cannot break down the Burnleys of the world. So we're gonna have to see it. But if you know what, if you have a coach who will take off a defensive-minded player and put on an attacker in the situation in the 75th minute, you probably have a better shot than having 8 defenders on the field. So at least we got that. That's where we're at.
Back to Bilbao.
Hey, you think Amram? Where's? I haven't seen that smile. I'm waiting for that Amram smile. Amram, the big smile guy. It's like he got sacked, big smile. Today's the first day where he's like,
So we never played that good under Ruben Amorim, not once. Not once.
Oh, the Arsenal game, we didn't win it, but the Arsenal game was good.
And preseason was good.
I'm not like. By the way, I don't
bagging him. It was domination today.
I'm not bagging Amorim. It's just I don't like the way he behaved after he was fired. The whole that's like that's like an online troll move. Like
he's a troll,
such a teenager
troll.
move. And I'm like, so be careful what you wish for. Hey, come on, Carrick, let's go.
Don't care for him. At D_Cole18. Haven't enjoyed a match. Game that much since before Eric Ten Hag was in charge. The players react to actual tactics and a game plan. And who would have thought? Haven't seen a City side that flat and open in years. If we can start a run, can we get to the top 4 and Champions League for investment this summer? Season's not dead yet at Fairway Fetty. This is some win. We have absolutely pasted them. That was a committed, aggressive, and coordinated effort with skill and fight. It was a pleasure to watch. Every player played well. Casemiro and this new fella Kobe were fantastic. Are you not entertained? Come on, Kobe Manu. So that's our signing. The fact that we were going to pick Ruben Amorim and sell Kobe Manu for $40 million for a guy that had a 38% win rate, we made the right choice. He made it for us.
No, it was. Look, Manu played well, but he needs time. Because it's like the Premier League. You got to get up for the level. And at the end of the day, this is about the intangibles and what we saw the full 90. We saw relentless effort for Manchester United, which is what fans should expect. The players felt like the Stretford end getting behind them, the whole atmosphere at Old Trafford getting behind them. It was go, go, go. It was attack, attack, attack. It's Manchester United football. Can Carrick keep that up the whole season? Probably not, but we haven't seen a performance at home like that in maybe before Eric Ten Hag. So that's what everybody wants. That's what we're looking for. We got it. I'm absolutely buzzing. Can't wait for the Arsenal match because I know as fans we have hope now, and the players got it too. And we're thinking about that sweet angelic music that we haven't heard in a long, long time.
Indeed. I'm going to finish with Randy Scrandy L because you know what? When he's positive, I can't avoid it. I can't not take a Randy Scrandy flyer. A few weeks back, I said I had no fun watching this team. I'll hold my hand up today and say this was fun. That was a proper new manager bounce. Definitely lucky to have 11 men. Not every often we outplay a better opponent. We sure missed the AFCON boys. Good day to be a Red. Today was a good day to be a Manchester. Every day is a good day to be a Manchester United fan. Today was special. It felt like United of old. I mean, we haven't dominated a team of that caliber, bro, probably since Fergie. At home, just didn't give them a sniff. They looked like miles off it. Like you said, relentless football. We hunted in packs. We scored with conviction.
We cooked them before under Ole right before COVID.
Counter. Yeah, counter.
Yeah,
that was but even then we were holding.
No,
dude, watch that.
I think it was at 3-1. We beat them at home. It was and then COVID hit, and then we never got it back. But that was another great. That was a great win. At beating City, it's never dull. And get out of here. I hope that's his last game at Old Trafford.
I hope it is too. I hope he calls it quits and slithers away somewhere. But sir, that's it. That's the pod. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do it without you. Don't forget, if you want to go the extra mile, check out our Patreon. Extra special benefits, part of the community. We need your support. For fans, by fans.
Patreon.com/American Red Devils. Check out our store. I got the amazing Munich memorial scarf. AmericanRedDevils.store. I think we have 2 left. It's amazing. Grab one. Support the pod. We need it. We're coming back up for European football. Also, we're going to be out abroad. We're going to a few games. We're going to go to, obviously, Arsenal and Manchester United. We're going to be around London. We're going to be dropping match vlogs on our YouTube channel. If you're listening to iTunes or Spotify, get over to YouTube, subscribe. We're going to be having a lot of fun doing a pod across the pond, giving you an inside track on the travel, what it's like for a away day, and just getting after it, sir. It's going to be an absolute blast. And then we're actually going to go to Dortmund versus Inter Milan in Dortmund, which is that's going to be a great another obviously Champions League game. We're not in it, so when we're not in it, we go to neutral sites and just have a ball. So that's going to be a great time. Cannot wait. ARD Abroad coming at you, socials and our YouTube channel. Check it out.
Get this guy a knuckle, sir. You know, I can't wait to eat that famous German cuisine, travel with my boy. We're going to have a lot of fun, watch United away, see some European football. It's going to be a great time. Hopefully we get to see Carrick's
freeze.
Roll. Oh, yeah, the weather, proper English weather, proper weather all around the continent, sir. We're going to 3 countries and all the weather looks about the same. But like you said, that's it. That's the pod. Let's do top downloads last 7 days, top 10 cities. How you doing? Number 1, Chicago, Illinois. Number 2, Los Angeles, California, Brooklyn, New York, Dublin, Ireland, New York, Oslo, Norway, Charlotte, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Manchester, England, and last but not least, Atlanta, Georgia. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do without you. Big games coming thick and fast. We got Arsenal next weekend. American Devils on the road. We'll be there in the away ends. And, sir, it's Carrick, you know.